Okay, hello. I'm just going to do a quick video on some tips on how to survive the harder difficulties of killing floor. This is sort of something that you can do alone or with a small group of friends. So even if you have other people coming on, you might still be able to survive, even though you don't control the server, which becomes pretty important when you're getting to the higher difficulties. This is also a really fun way to play. So if you're normally used to play as a dynamic set of characters and sit in a spot and just hold that position, then you might find this a bit of fun to break it up as well. So what we're doing is we're playing as a Berserker. Now if you're playing with more friends, everyone plays as Berserker. You just stack Berserkers in this, and the reason is this skirmisher ability. You move 20% faster, you sprint 25% faster than that, and you regenerate 2 points of health every second. That is huge. Regeneration is not something that's elsewhere in this game. It means that you can avoid having to rely on healers at all, and it also means that instead of having to hold a single point, you can just run the map. Obviously, the more leveled up you get, you become faster, you can do more, you get more resilient, and then when you get to level 20, this one becomes huge as well. You're doing 20%, 50% more damage with your melee perk weapons and 25% more damage with head hits, and you stumble. Once we get down here, they'll be pretty handy as well, but it's the amount of damage you're doing and the speed that you can get away that is huge. What it also means is, say I'm playing online here, so other people may join me, I'm just going solo. But what it does mean is if those other people join and they do badly, I can still survive on my own. And that's the other element of this. If you're playing with a group of friends and you're all 6 of you are doing well, then you'll be laughing, you'll get through waves quickly. If you start dying, it also doesn't matter, because you can win on this difficulty with one man standing if he can heal himself and if he can outrun the majority of things that are coming after him. Doing this solo, it might be a little bit hard to sort of display that, because once we get to say something like a Scrake or a Fleshpound, your really strength is in the number of Berserkers that you have. What it means there is that if one person has the focus of a Berserker, others can run in and try and get it, and it's sort of like you're all getting healed as you run. So so you can see here I can just outrun them, get some clear space. You can see my health is just slowly going up while all I'm doing is regrouping. And you can see up the top how many of them I'm actually clearing. The other advantage of being a Berserker is a Berserker can't get grabbed by clots, so you can continue to sort of get by without them causing you too much grief. You can obviously also heal yourself, but when you do go slower. The real advantage of this would be having, say, 2 or 3 friends, if not more, in this style, because you're going to be it's that you're all working at different points on the map, excuse me, trying to chip these down. So don't be surprised if I do die in this run. It's more just an example of the way to do it. What it also means is I think that you can build, not necessarily going with all Berserker weapons. Obviously any weapon that you're using Berserker is going to be a much bigger impact than ones you aren't, but the kicker is that you're getting health back, and when you have one of your Berserker weapons out, you can run. And those are the win in this. The other tip I give for trying to get through the harder difficulties. Alright, so what we'll do here quickly is we'll just sell that and we'll upgrade just to the katana for this wave. Is play 7 wave. Don't worry about 10 wave. You will get more money playing 7 wave. 4 wave's a bit too short. You sort of get thrown in the deep end a little too quickly. 7 is a nice sort of middleman between having time to sort of develop your character to a point where you've got the weapons where you can fight the big guys, and not having to just do an extra 3 waves just to prove the point. Now the other thing is, I think that the layout I like to play with when doing this sort of build is having the pulverizer as my top end weapon. This is because the pulverizer has its AoE ability with a right click, and the other thing you can see with the way that I've built my spec, the right click is where I do a lot of damage. So a right click pulverizer is a destructive hit, and it's AoE as well. And the fact that you can AoE as the Berserker is what really makes him a threat offensively, and also that he can't run out of ammo really. Another thing that you can turn on, which I find really handy, is you can see in the top right hand corner, each time I kill something, it does tell me when something's been killed. It is a good indicator. It only tells you when you've killed something, so it's not going to let you know if someone else is killing someone on the map. But at least it lets you know that you've got someone down. So you can see that you get a little bit trapped, you just run, reset. The main thing that you've got to really do with this is pick guys off. You can't run forever with everyone still up. And don't get yourself cornered is the other thing. So you want to try and stay in wide open areas. Husks are probably the worst thing to fight in this, but the other side of having a pulverizer is I like to complement that with just a rocket launcher. So I've just got a lot of big damage that I can take out groups who are pursuing me once I've got a bit of lead on them. So the other way that you play here is you can see there's only 9 guys left, so you go, well, I can't see a Husk who's what's causing me a problem at the moment. He's a lot way back. So what I should really be doing is picking off the guys who are going to just cause me grief by being additional to any sort of serious fight that I get into. And you can see there are a lot of Husks back there. The really big threat of a Husk to a Berserker is that he'll explode. So we want to try and make sure that we can get them at range, especially with that many of them together. Once we get our pulverizer, we'll be a bit more of a threat to them, but this one particular wave, they're going to be a bit of a nightmare. Just make sure you jump whenever they shoot at you. If you get lucky, they'll hit the bloat, or the bloat will hit them, and they'll just fight each other. Okay. Okay, now we're in pulverizer territory. A bit more ammo would be handy, but it's alright, we'll wander the map to try and find it. Now you don't necessarily have to. I wholeheartedly recommend the pulverizer. I think the right click attack of the pulverizer is just so damaging. You can, once you've hit level 20 and you've got your upgrades for doing right hand damage more, you'll be at this level. You'll be one-shotting sirens and husks, and skrakes can go down pretty quick. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But when it comes to the rocket launcher, that's personal preference. When I play with a group of friends who are also playing as Berserkers, we may have someone who's playing who's got like a medical shotgun. Check this out. That's how you can see we also knock out, because of that level 20 ability, we really can knock out a bloat, something quick too. And if we can get them out, that's nice and handy. So generally what you want to do is you want to be left clicking guys. You can see the knockdown's going to sort of like slow them down from attacking you. When you get a group, you want to really blow them out of the water. It's just that low ammo that's really going to cause us a bit of problems here. You can even see the knockdowns are going to break it up a bit. And also, if you've got other people with you, that knockdown's going to be will give them time to take things out as well. Give you the difference between how long they've got to kill it and you get away. Now we've got a Scrake here as well, so the biggest tip I give for fighting a Scrake is don't fight a Scrake. You can see we've got 21 things total to kill, and we've got a Scrake back there, there's a Siren back there, there's a Husk back there, there's a couple of things that fighting a Scrake is going to be a lot harder because they're with it. So what we want to do is not fight the Scrake. The Scrake won't enrage until he's until you've started to attack him. So as long as we leave him alone, he can be the last guy that we fight, because he's also pretty slow at this stage. So just clear out a few there. Normally I'd like to go straight for Sirens. One of our abilities means that we take a lot less damage from Sirens, but you can see there's a lot of other guys around, so we're just picking them off, gaining a little bit of health back, letting the fast guys come to us. So there's one more guy. Now the other good thing is if you are playing this with a group and you get down to last man standing, it'll actually be that I'll just run for a second just to let that other guy off him. Okay, so now just us versus the Scrake. So what we want to do is try and take the Scrake down slowly. We've got grenades as well that we can use on him. We don't want to get stuck inside. And that's it. So FPs are definitely going to be harder than that, but armor doesn't become too much of a big thing because you've got because it's the health that you're surviving on. Now the other thing that I'll cover just in case we do die before we get to the end is final wave strategy. Now my final wave strategy is Eviscerator. Sell what you're carrying, I'll sell the shotgun, I'll sell the sell the rocket launcher, sell the pulverizer, get the Eviscerator in there, and then probably the medical SMG. Medical SMG and the maybe dual pistols, just to give you a little bit of extra range firepower if you run out of. Remember, anytime you can just right click and pulverize these guys out of here, but you can also see that my armor's almost pretty much gone, even though health wise I should be fine for a while. So Eviscerator. Now the reason is because when you fire the Eviscerator, you will actually, your ammo will land around the map. It doesn't it doesn't sort of like just get fired like a bullet. You can pick it back up. Alright, let's bail. Now the reason that that's a benefit is because if you're playing with a group of you as and you're all playing as Berserkers, it means that there's a lot of ammo everywhere that all of you can pick up. So it really gives you an ability to not run out of ammo. Also, if you play this way and you're all Berserkers, you generally have a lot of money too, so you can have extra Eviscerators laying around in that final wave. Now, that being said, just the two of us and only one Berserker here. That may not be the case, but you can see here, huge wave of guys, just clear them out, get running. This is if nothing else, even if this is just the way that you actually happen to get the levels through, if you've been bashing your head against a wall trying to get these harder difficulties, and then you change to this style, it is fun. I assure you, you don't have to. It's not about holding in your single position. It's not about having some guy come in who just ruins it for you. It comes down to you and your friends just running around, cracking skulls and having a good time. And it always helps when you get a level 25 medic to come and aid you here. Still a little bit off the RPG, so I'll just hold till next wave, won't worry about armor. The other good thing is that because obviously I haven't done it there, he's quite happy to run off, but because you're a Berserker, you do end up with a fair bit of money, and so you can be quite generous as well, so it can get everyone else on your side as well. Some people will crack it that you're not sticking with the group, and you can play in a held position. So for example, if say there were 6 of you and there was 3 of you were playing as Berserkers and the other 3 weren't, and the other 3 wanted to hold here, the 3 Berserkers can also hold here. It just really means that when everything goes to shit, you can just turn and tail and run, and you can get out of there, and you and the other Berserkers can survive, even if the people you're playing with aren't playing that way. But if they are good and they can hold that spot, then you will work through a wave very quickly. So it makes a nice short work of a wave as opposed to having to spend your time picking guys off as you run. Alright, now we're going to be in trouble. Okay, fleshbounds are faster, we'll always be running, but we've got our medic there, so if we can get to him, we should have a shot. As long as he's up, we may as well use him. But the big thing is just picking off other guys as well. So even if I die, at least the whoever's left has a chance. So you can just pick guys off and keep moving. Like there's a fleshpound up, and we've knocked out 30 other guys while he's still been standing. I'm just going to try and make sure we can get back to this guy in case he's now got the... And the AoE is great because it means that I can flesh pound, but it's everyone else around him is actually going to die. You can see this is why you play this, even if this style, and though it's a very highly advertised solo style, you can see the benefit of playing online. Obviously, if you get joined with someone who's bad, it's going to be a lot more work to get through a wave because you're essentially doubling the amount of things that you're killing. But when you score a nice someone who's practical, and most people are who are playing this level, they're not playing it just to try and speed level a character, because there's those high there's those like high amount of people maps that you can play that you can do that with. This is normally you'll get guys who are actually trying to get these levels, and so will be a nice high level. And so yeah, it's a benefit. Like this guy definitely, he's not playing my style, but he's definitely not a hindrance. And you can see we've scored a 25 commando as well. So certainly not hindrances that we're getting. Although this guy's not going to have any weapons to do this next wave. The downside obviously is there's about another 50 guys that we have to play because we've got that, but as long as they can carry their own weight and can kill their share of the 50, then it should be laughing. Now Scrag this early, no one else around. Definitely makes sense to try and pick him off. There he goes. See, I always like the logic of just pick them off. It doesn't matter if you've and once you've got the pulverizer, you can really have some fun here. So it's, if you want the if you got a massive group like this, just right click, boom, clear them out. And the short work that you can make of a menacing looking group is nice and fun. And not to mention that if I'm say on looking someone else having a big group coming on, or a couple of flesh pounds, I now also have a rocket launcher that I can bring out to let me keep my distance from it. So it's very satisfying. Now the other thing that you want to do in this is, if I do say come across a flesh pound here, I do know where there's where my allies are stationed, because I'll normally hold the one spot, so I can just sort of kite to that point. But it should always be on you. Like if you're working in a group like this, you're the one that wants to get in there and take out bloats and sirens, because they're going to affect you a lot less than what's going to affect them. You can see it's still, even at 18 is not too bad for this difficulty. So the benefit now for me is to have others that are working well. So we will autofill, and then We'll bet on the commando. So, I mean, these guys will probably work as a team. All of them are playing that same old style of just stand and deliver, which means that I can either stay with them or I can just go free roaming. The times you feel guilty is when you go free roaming and you just have nothing coming your way, and you realise that everyone else is having to do all the heavy lifting. But it is also, I think, a bit faster to have everything come to you. But then sometimes it's also just more fun to go for a wander. Although it'll be worth their while if that fleshbound comes, that I'm the one taking the hits. Two fleshbounds, which is where we can go. So you can see it'll just break up those massive groups that are coming because everyone has to focus on the Scrake. As you can see with as opposed to some of those slower rounds where I was running, how quickly, if you group, that you can get through them. So benefits to both styles, but it doesn't mean that if, say, this goes to shit, then I can get moving. So I think as important as taking down those focus guys, you've got to make sure that those little guys are getting picked off too. So with this sort of group, I'll try and stay between them and us, and yeah, that'll do the trick. So normally I would run, but the solid work of this group just lets you know that you can that all I need to do is probably just let these guys be able to stand still, and that'll do most of the work. Alright. Now this is where we will just change up our build. We'll go just straight for an Eviscerator. My reasons for using this won't stand as true because we're such a widespread group. But when you see what the eviscerated damage does, it is well worth that style. So the strategy is that. Then we'll have LSMG and the jewels. So the idea being, like when you shoot, you can pick it up again. So if there's, say, a group of you playing and you're all doing that, then you've got a lot of ammo that you can continue to collect. But you can still right-click to pick off little guys, and it's mainly that the single shots of these are huge. Hands is harder than the Patriarch, but so we've got a pretty good looking team here, so this shouldn't be too much trouble, hopefully. Unless you can get someone out pretty quick. And when you fight in hands, the big thing is you want to bash, so it's usually only default key is V to get rid of his shield. Fastest way to take it down. Doesn't matter if I take the hit, it's bad for him to get the heal, but this sort of layout, I do want to have him on me if I can. See, this guy's not getting in there and bashing him, which is where the key to that win is. But it should be alright anyway, we haven't lost anyone to this point. Be pretty hard for him to win from here. That's how you do it. So that's that's my strategy with a Berserker. Obviously that was a bit different because I had a full team around me and didn't get a shit too badly, but yeah, it's a very fun way to play, and if you've got a couple of friends all play as Berserkers, it doesn't deteriorate as a style, even if there's 4 or 6 of you. Yeah, good luck and happy hunting.